All right, alas, Gridiron Queensland community, the rain has subsided and we have got Gridiron action back on, of course, streaming to you from Glennon Park here in Narang. Kenny Andrews talking to the action, and as per usual, I've got a couple of players to talk to in pre-game. Starting off with one of the defensive captains, Ashley Brewer. It's your first chat with me on camera, but you've been around for quite some time.
Yeah, I've been around for about 5 years now. Played a few state campaigns, played over in Canada, and it's my first season with Stingrays.
Indeed. We'll get to that's a bit of a theme today. A bunch of former Jets going at each other. But let's talk about the current context. 2 weeks off for you guys, 3 games because you had the bye before that. What's it been like being football free for the last 3 weeks?
It's been a real drag. Yeah, we've been really missing it. Just all the girls are just ready to get fired this weekend. Like, we're so excited, but it's so hot. Yeah.
In the context of the game, you're taking on an opponent that is the reigning champions at the moment, but you guys had the wood on them last week. A very, very convincing win last time you guys played. Can you really take much of that game that was so long ago and so many rain washouts ago?
I can't even remember that game because it was like so long ago, but I think that we can, we're ready to take it to them again this week and just give them the best that we've got.
Actually, bro, I always appreciate your time.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
See ya.
All right, and the trend continues. Both teams sending out former Logan City Jets for interviews. Now I've got Miss Ellie Super 7 Sharman and Brittany Todd. Obviously, former Logan City Jets. Now you're dubbing the purple. I'll start with you, Ellie. How's the transition been? You've been here a little longer than Brittany.
It's been good. It's been very eye-opening. Like, everything we ran at Jets feels pretty basic to what we've had to come and learn here. So it's been good. It's been a very good learning experience. And I've got heaps of opportunity to play different positions that I wouldn't have been able to play at the Jets. So I've really been enjoying it. The girls have been really welcoming. So.
And how about you, Brett? You're a couple of weeks in now. How are you feeling?
Yeah, good. At the start I was a little bit iffy, but it took me a while to get into the swing of things. I agree with what Ellie's saying. It's a totally different culture. There's, the Colts, the men, the women's, and we all seem to just gel together like one big family. So I love it. It's good.
Well, we can't have an interview and not pretend like we've had the last couple of weeks off. How's our preparation been and amongst all the washouts lately?
Oh, well, the rain's killed us every time, but we've had a good solid week's prep now with no rain, so hopefully
we're ready.
Finally, we're coming to the pointy end of the season. This is the penultimate round of the regular season. You guys, are pretty much guaranteed a playoff spot. Is it hard not to look too far forward?
I think everybody's aiming for the Sun Bowl. At the end of the day, that's where we all want to be. So I think you start the season knowing that that's where you want to be. So you start your prep right back then. So we'll just keep going as we have been and just keep building on what we've got, I think.
Yeah, and we just treat every game like it's our last game. So give it our all.
Wonderful insight. Appreciate your time, girls.
Thanks, Kenny. Thank you.
Gridiron Queensland community, we've missed you. It's been 2 weeks without football. The weather gods, they've not been kind to us, nor have the councils and our fields. But we are back now, and to bring you back into action here in week 11, we have a tense rivalry in the women's division. The Bayside Ravens visiting the Gold Coast Stingrays. The last time these two teams met was all the way back in week 6, where the Stingrays handed the Bayside Ravens their first loss of the season, defeating them soundly 22 points to 2. There at the coin toss. Now we might take a quick look at the standings, although not a lot has happened over the last 2 weeks with the washouts. Of course, all games within those 2 weeks in the women's division and all the divisions have been considered draws. So those were the last results we had when we were actually playing football. Obviously some big scores in the women's divisions. Thunder 89 points over the Raptors, but there's in round 6 that 22-2 victory over the Ravens. But last time they played, Stingrays was on song over the Raptors, and the Thunder 22 points short of the Ravens. And let's take a look at the league table now. The coin toss is still going on, where the Ravens have deferred, and as we see, the Ravens, despite that loss in week 6, they still lead 12 points. It'll be a couple of points more after those draws. That table was before the 2 washouts, so the standings are the same though. The Ravens, by my count, I believe might wrap up a minor premiership here if they can win over the Stingrays today. So the Stingrays will be on the ball first. The Ravens won the toss, opted to defer. So the Stingrays will be receiving the ball, running right to left. Had a good chat to a lot of the players in this game, in pre-game, went into both camps, and as you can imagine, the general theme from everyone is that they're just excited to get back into it. 2 weeks is a long time in the middle of the season, especially on this back end of the season where playoff spots are absolutely on the line for some of these teams. And not so much for the women's division, where everyone will be competing in the playoffs. Only 4 teams in it this year. Hopefully that will expand in 2019, but obviously everyone vying for the best position they can get. So with that in mind, the Stingrays, they're sending out possibly the healthiest squad in the women's division, but as far as player for player, very well one of the healthiest squads amongst the league. The Ravens, though, they have got a couple of inactives today, not all from injuries. Some players are just basically away, including their starting D lineman and Juliana Agassi and Isla Cook, who are both absent from today's game. Kestra Trias Mona, the electric running back wide receiver, she also will not be taking part. She's still on track of trying to get her body ready for the business end of the season. However, for the Ravens, they also receive Marissa Hayes back after she tore her obliques last time these two teams played. And they also welcome back from Melbourne Grace Power and Ruth Malolo Vafusawaga. There's a name I haven't had to say in a couple of months. So a couple of interstate players returning to their original teams to compete once again. All right. The aforementioned Hayes is ready to kick us off. Kenny Andres here for Gridiron Queensland TV, and it'll be a short kick-off behind the first line. Can the Ravens get on it? They will not. Recovering that football is Kelsey Jensen wisely getting on it. And now the Ravens have gifted field position just shy of halfway to Lauren Evans and this Stingrays offense, no doubt. Whenever they're both in the game, Evans and Hodgson, two likely culprits of plenty of yards and plenty of touchdowns. Interesting to see where Hodgson lines up. She can line up wide. She's probably the ideal slot receiver, but we've also seen her line up almost at tight end in previous weeks. She's on the far side right now. 2 wingbacks in for the Stingrays. And this will be a speed option to the left to start us off with. It's pitched out to Jensen. Jensen breaks a tackle. And this is a great gain to start the game for Jensen and the Stingrays. Very well, it is indeed a first down, an 11-yard gain on the first offensive play of the game for the Rays. Jensen been coming into her own, I believe, second-year player, and has been moulded into the starting running back, the bell cow back, if you will, for the Gold Coast Stingrays. Here they go again, same formation, same personnel. Fuller's near side, they look for Riley on the backside slant, they do! And quarterback managed to get that right on target, but couldn't quite be reeled in by Hodgson. Incomplete on second down, on first down I should say. Second down now. Second and 10. Evans now 0 for 1 on passing. Last minute adjustment there to O'Reilly. They'll pitch out to the right now with Jensen. Jensen patiently following blocks, bounces to the outside. Outside of Todd, flags have been thrown on the far side sideline. She gets past the first down marker. Let's see if the penalty will play a factor here. Finding their way to get to the perimeter now. A bit of stepping away from the zone blocking, pulling in, bringing a little bit of power to get to the outside. And that was on the offense. A holding call. And that will more or less negate that last play. We're back to 2nd and 10. And on Hodgson. Riley Hodgson, the culprit holding, and we were briefly on 2nd and 10. After the penalties assessed, we're looking at 2nd and 20. And another give to Jensen. Jensen on the inside zone, bounces to the outside and is nicked up at the line of scrimmage and eventually taken down there by keeper Anderson. Jensen stayed down for a little while. She looks like she's okay though. That'll still be a 3rd and double stick situation. This will be the first real test for the Stingrays offense today. Evans under pressure from Hayes. Hayes in pursuit. Evans looking to get the ball away. She does. Going to her unnatural side. Still, the lefty still gets the ball away. Great pursuit there from Hayes, but a good job getting rid of the football by Evans. But that will put them in 4th down. Let's see if they opt to go for it here. It is a situation where they could punt for field position. So Fuller's sent back. Looks like they're going to play it safe here. I'll send Fuller back to launch a punt downfield. Keeper Anderson back to return. And punt there from Fuller is an awkward one, but it is picked up on the full by Anderson. Anderson breaks a couple of tackles, but overall the pursuit is good, but flags have been thrown in once again from the far sideline around the 30-yard line. See if there was any running into the kicker, any blocks in the back. Steve Moran, someone we haven't mentioned yet, and it wouldn't be long before we did though. First down there for Moran. And we do apologise. I'm just getting word that we are having a couple of internet issues here in Nerang, so the stream is dropping in and out. We are rebooting as quickly as we can every time we do, and we will have all the individual clips renamed and retitled for you to watch in full. But just bear with us, guys. We're always getting the stream back up as quickly as possible. Another pitch out to Moran down the left-hand side again. This time she is corralled a lot quicker and then picks up maybe about 6 yards. So yes, we're working through it. We do apologise, and hopefully we're back to full systems go very, very shortly. 2nd and a long 2, almost 3 yards. Trips receivers out to the right. Moran that way as well. Torres in the shotgun. Torres will look to throw underneath for Grace Power. Straight in from Melbourne. Picks up the screen pass and a first down. So first down and 10 after that screen play. Torres completes her first pass. Torres and Moran stay in the backfield. Formation stays the same as well. Trips right to the short side of the field. And this will be a fake to Moran. Torres will keep it itself. Hayes will be out to lead block for her. She takes it out of bounds. Decent run. Eventually taken out there by number 6, Samantha Johnston. Almost called her Tiafi Thurston. Thurston wearing the 6 last year. And in her return, obviously Samantha Johnson has taken that number, so Tiafi Thurston rocking number 36, I believe. Brother Solomon played in the junior game early, where they had I believe it was a 40-8 point win, I believe earlier this morning at 11:30. 2nd down and 4. Torres high snap, but she brings it in. She's looking long. Miscommunication between her and her wide receiver there. And that brings up a 3rd down. Pass intended for, I think that was Michelle Greenwood out wide. So the Ravens' first third down conversion opportunity now. They are in the red zone. Sitting on the 15-yard line. 4 yards to a first down, 15 yards to pay dirt. Now a tight trips bunch to the wide side of the field on the left. Torres, quick snap. Gives out to Moran. They'll try to test Old Faithful. She breaks a tackle. She into the end zone. She'll be stopped short. Has got the first down, and this red zone visit continues here for the Bayside Ravens. And you can see the solo blocking there from the receivers. They've got some of the best downfield blocking receivers in Hayes and Power out there at the moment. And they're going to return to their trips formation out to the right. Torres sending Greenwood wider. It's a high snap and eventually taken by Torres. Torres rolls out to her right looking for options. Wants to hit Hayes. No, she gets Gracie Power. And Power in for the first touchdown of today. The Melbourne import, as she wanted to be introduced. She returns to Birdtown and scores a touchdown here at Nerang. Great patience shown there by Torres on that rollout. There is such a temptation just to tuck it and run once you see all that space in front of her, but she waited patiently and eventually saw one of her targets come free and pulled the trigger and bang, 6 points. Ravens now looking for a 2-point conversion. Goal line defense out for the Stingrays. They'll need it. Moran gets the ball. No! Torres keeps it and squirts through the line but is short. So the score remains 6 points to 0. Alright, we're back once again. Our sincerest apologies for all the viewers out there. Unusual internet issues here today, but you haven't missed a whole lot. The Stingrays have been building a strong drive in response to the Ravens' last touchdown. They are now at the 34-yard line. On second down, Evans, give to Jensen. This one straight up the middle, and she's found plenty of space. Is untouched for at least 7 yards. Well and truly a first down there. Jensen looking impressive on the ground today. Second year running back, definitely showing strides of improvement in 2018. There's a strong block there from the veteran and to Millen. We'll meet her again this time. They're pulling him across. Mika Doggy on a little end around play, and it's enough to get them in the end zone. The Stingrays, they answer back, and Mika Doggy on an impressive play. Bit of trickery this time, pulling the guards around as well as Doggy from that wing back position. Mika Doggy, and get this, making a big play on, she's basically running on empty. More on that after this 2-point conversion. Doggy will stay on the field. Jensen in the backfield again. And she'll punch it in for a 2-point conversion and give her side the lead. Capitalizing on the Doggy touchdown. 8-6 now with 1:41 remaining in the first quarter. Showing a lot of ability to beat the first tackler now, Jensen. But Doggy, a 33-yard touchdown there for her. And get this, Mika Doggy, who is a neonatal pediatrics nurse or something crazy like that. She only clocked off from work about 4 a.m. this morning, then headed down to Brisbane to pick up some kittens that needed adopting. So has operating on very minimal sleep here today. She still has the energy to pull off that, on top of being a bit of a superhero of a human being. So a well-earned touchdown there for Doggy today after some of our mighty fine efforts earlier this morning. Crazy. Just waiting on the kicking tee now. The only thing stopping Cody Fuller from kicking off. And it looks like I might be getting a bit of company in the commentary booth.
How are you, mate?
Good, mate. Pete Mariani, the biggest cowboy here in Gridiron, Queensland, is going to try to keep his hat on while commentating, and only to reveal an epic mohawk underneath it. Just waiting confirmation to see your audio coming in. Pete, mate, welcome to our GQ TV, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Just
Good to be here.
saw you sitting on your lonesome there. Thought I'd show you the invite, mate. You're obviously playing a little later today, but you're just tuning in to watch this crazy women's game so far, which is between the Ravens and the Stingrays. 8-6, mate. It's been a good first quarter.
Yeah, mate, it's been a really big competition. It's looking good out there. This could be the Sun Bowl trial.
Absolutely. Obviously, the Thunder's still in the mix as well. The Raptors, your teams, they're in more of a different stage of their team at the moment. They're looking to build with their first or second year back into the comp. But yeah, that little end around, mate, has that inspired any thoughts about talking to your coach, about throwing in a package for you to get involved there in offense?
Yeah, maybe. We'll see how we go.
I reckon Vinny would do it, mate.
Yeah, maybe.
Keep the creative juices flowing. Back on offense is Torres and this Bayside Ravens receiving crew. One of those is Marissa Hayes, who picks up her first catch of the day. Nice little pass out of the flat. Now, it's obvious to see the game plan for the Ravens right now. They want to keep things short. Torres hasn't got the biggest arm, but it's proven to be pretty accurate.
Yeah, it's definitely working for him at the moment. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it, I suppose.
Exactly right. I mean, sometimes if you have a quarterback like Evans who has that ability to push that ball downfield, it's great. You can open it up. But I think Gerard has sort of built this offense around the ability of Torres. She might not be able to sling it 40 yards down the field, but can get it 15, 20 yards pretty accurately, particularly laterally.
Yeah, definitely. I think they're playing to their game plan, playing to their strengths at the right time of the year.
And we got the false start here, our first false start of the day. And that'll knock them back 5 yards, kill some of their momentum. It's a nice little compliment, though, to Christy Moran, and anyone who's involved in this league obviously knows Special K.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So all you got to do is prove that you can do something else other than hand it off to Special K, and that's going to win you a lot of ball games here in this
definitely.
division.
And her being out there is just a big target. They all the defenses flow to her, and then it gives everybody else a bit of time to do what they need to do.
I want to say something crazy here. I honestly believe Christy Moran could find success in the men's division.
I reckon she could too, you know.
No doubt.
She definitely puts in the hard work.
Certainly. Torres. And speaking of Moran, here she goes. Look at that speed. Bouncing it back now, cutting across the field in signature Special K fashion. The defense, though, in the grand scheme of things, pretty good there. Keeps it at about 6 yards. Oh, sorry. Make that about 8 yards, considering they were actually behind the sticks. Mate, what do you make of coaches nowadays? And I'm actually seeing it in the NFL a little bit, allowing quarterbacks to go to the old rugby league pass there, opposed to the traditional one-head bitch.
Mate, from a rugby league background, I'm all for it, you know.
If it reduces errors and produces the same net result,
yeah, that's
why not? Another third down conversion. We'll have to wait because it looks like we've come to the end of the first quarter. Either that or Tim Redshaw is just wanting to have a chat. He's a bit lonely back there in the backfield. Him raising the ball will confirm that is the end of the first quarter. So a good game so far between these two regular combatants. 8 points to 6 in favour of the Gold Coast Stingrays. Kenny on Jersey now joined from Pete Mariani, who will be playing in the 6:30 p.m. game later in the men's division. The Raptors taking on the Gold Coast Stingrays. Mate, 2 weeks off. You know, I've been talking to all the women's players about this, and I'll be talking to you guys soon. it's rough. 2 weeks off, and not only does it stop games, you probably miss out on a lot of practice too.
Yeah, definitely. I missed out a lot of practice in that. I'll tell you what, it's done wonders for our injury list.
I bet.
We've got a few guys back, which is really good. And yeah, I think it's going to be the same across the board for everybody. There'll be a little bit of rust on all the teams this weekend, I'd say. But it's just how quickly they get rid of that, I suppose.
Yeah, I was about to say, for any of the teams coming in as underdogs, this is probably a good week for them. It's a bit of a dice roll week.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Because preparation-wise
has been all over the shop for every team, I guess.
Torres hitting Hayes on the slant. Her first pass downfield is a good one. And can Hayes finish? She'll be stopped just short. A great pitch and catch there from Torres to Hayes. Oh, the slant over the middle. Well, if she tore her oblique 6 weeks ago, safe to say she's fully recovered now. It was a great pass there from Torres and a great run off to the catch there from Hayes. Mate, as you're playing mainly the defensive lineman, but I guess as a lineman in general, it must be nice. It must be nice when your receivers turn those small catches into big gains.
Yeah, definitely. It's always good to have an offense that can move the chains and get the job done.
First down. Goal to go. Torres, she's on fire at the moment, gives to Moran. Moran up the middle. The Stingrays, they close in tight, almost force a fumble. Saved by the whistle. And they'll stop Moran about a yard short. And yeah, good job there from the D-line. I think that was Barbrich might have been amongst it. Or 95 Mandy Porter, my apologies. A huge part. Goal line stands as a defensive lineman, mate. Is that something you look forward to or you dread?
Oh, a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I don't mind the old close combat, but yeah, when you get those outside plays, there's a bit of a scramble to get there. So yeah, it's definitely a bonus either way.
It's a bit of a mental game, isn't it?
It definitely is. Yeah, it's an arm wrestle on the line, yeah.
And they'll go speed option. Torres will try to take him on herself, and she'll get there. Torres, who got them in range with a pass to Hayes, finishes off with a 1 yard run for the score. Well, just sells the dummy, doesn't she? Congratulated there from her teammate, Ella Briscoe. And that'll bring up a 2-point conversion. The Ravens are back in the lead for our third lead change of the day. And we're feeling we're going to see a fourth, fifth, maybe even a sixth.
Yeah, both teams are definitely getting into the arm wrestle there.
Hayes on the inside. Torres, it'll be a pass. He's trying to hit Hayes. Hayes comes back for it. And a clutch 2-point conversion there from Marissa Hayes. And the Ravens, they add 2, but it's on hold right now. We've got a flag. Let's see if we can spot a hold here. And it looks like there's been holding called on the right guard. No, offside on the defense. So the Ravens will decline that. They'll happily take the 2-point conversions. And the Ravens, they'll take another narrow lead over the Stingrays, 12 points to 8. So, back to kickoff we go. So, mate, speaking of women's division, that partner of yours, she unfortunately suffered a kneecap injury quite a few weeks ago now. How's her recovery going?
Yeah, she's got to go meet with the surgeon this week. She's got to obviously have a ACL reconstruction.
Yeah, rough.
Yeah, she fully ruptured ACL, and I think she strained her MCL.
Oh.
So yeah, she did a really good job of it. She'll be out for a
Meniscus as
little
well,
while.
mate?
What's that?
Has a meniscus amongst all that?
Yeah, I'm not too
whammy?
sure, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I was there. We were streaming that game, and it was I could hear the cry all the way from the commentary booth, mate. It sounded painful.
Yeah, I don't think she enjoyed it. That's for sure.
Yeah, didn't tickle. Hayes set to kick off now. Hayes' last 2 kickoffs have been short enough to be considered onside kicks. He tries to get him right behind the first line, and you can see now the Stingrays, they've brought up their entire second and third lines to defend against it, and that won't change Hayes' approach. She'll try to get it back. Have the Ravens done it? It was mishandled by the second line of the Stingrays and has been recovered by the Ravens. Number 5, Ruth Malolo Vafusuaga.
Yeah, it's definitely a tactic that they use in the women's league a lot more than the men's that I've noticed.
Yeah, well, there are fewer sort of power kickers in the women's league, and I think if you do the maths, if you kick it downfield, especially with some of the returners we have in this game, the average field position is probably about where you'd get it anyway.
Yeah,
right?
you're probably about right.
So, but that being said, I've actually seen it more and more in the men's game. It was actually a topic in the old Queensland past and present discussion. Someone raised it.
Yep.
The idea of why so many onside kicks happening, and I guess doing the maths, a lot of people are, even in the men's division and the Colts division, starting to
bring it in.
The upside's worth the yardage. Hayes, short pass, cuts it back again, spin move. Oh, it is taken back hard in a tackle, and Hayes is down. And I think it might actually be by the same player that took her out of the game last time. It is Anastasia Owani. Hit her in almost the exact same fashion 5 weeks ago.
Hey, you owe me a pizza, give me one.
Clearly not happy with Hayes' big reception last drive. Wanted to keep her in check. Oh, those two going at it this time. Anastasia Owani, she gets one back. That was a tough one, Pete.
Yeah,
Jeez.
for sure.
Right in the
There's
rip.
definitely some good hits out there today.
Hit her right in the exact same place too.
Is that the player that just come back from the oblique?
Yes, yeah, and just got hit by the same player who tore him.
That'd be a tough injury to recover from.
Oh, it's an awkward one, isn't it? Downfield for Grace Power, and just when we said Torres couldn't push it downfield, she slings one into the wind to an open Power, but Power can't bring it in. Flags down though in the defensive backfield. Let's take a look, see if we can spot anything. And it's come down from the back judge, so it didn't look like any PI to me. And Tim Redshaw now is going to confirm the call. Neither team has sort of moved and given us any sort of indication of guilt. Offensive pass interference, how about that?
That's unusual.
The old OPI. So that'll push the Ravens back. I didn't get the number on whom that was. You'd have to assume it's on Power, and perhaps that's how she got open. But I guess that ball was in the air for quite some time. Well, we've been dealing with some warmer temperatures today, but mate, this wind is bringing a bit of a chill here to North
Yeah, I reckon it's definitely going to cool down a bit later. As soon as that sun sort of starts to go down, it'll drop really quickly, I reckon.
Silly me. Here I thought, well, we're more or less in summer now. I can leave the jacket at home. Moran taken down on a short game, picks up about 2 yards, maybe 3. And that is still a long, long way to go for the Ravens to convert on this one. Good job there. Another one there by Owani. The girl can hit. Let's see if they let Torres let it fly. 3rd down and long, mate. Defensive lineman's dream.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be a blitz here, I'd say.
Well, they've got 3 with their hand in the dirt. Plus Owani looking like she's keen for it too. How many do they send? They send 4. Torres in pressure, steps up, gets hit as she throws. It's underthrown and almost picked up by West, but on the tip drill. That is Owani after the big hit on Hayes, now picking it off. I thought she was the one blitzing. It wasn't actually, it was Mandy Porter coming around the outside, and Owani was actually in coverage. Heads up play there to take the Brittany West pick. And a huge play there, and well, 3rd and long. The intercept's always a possibility, isn't it?
Yep, for sure. When they're trying to push those passes, it's always there for the taking.
And the first turnover of the game. First down, Stingrays. Stingrays with the ball on their own 37. Evans with a bit of misdirection. Now will run it herself. Will she? No, she almost handed it off to Brewer. Eventually he's taken down. A good defensive play there by the Ravens. Forced everything east-west and kept that to a minimal gain. It's not easy to do. The outside contain there by Brittany Todd was perfect. She waited, and the inside defenders came and did their job. Second down and 9. Evans with 2 in the backfield plus a wing back. We'll give it to the fullback now, and she's taken down quickly by Candace Swaysland. Ashley Brewer, this time lining up in the backfield. Brewer spoke to her in pre-game, and which, as far as I know, would have been a pretty big deal. Brewer usually tries to avoid the cameras. She was nice enough to give me a little pre-game, just like you were a couple of weeks ago, Pete.
Yeah, nice.
Didn't have the cowboy hat flair, though.
Yeah, no, you definitely had the cowboy hat. It's got an impact.
Third down and 5. Evans looking left, trying to find Fuller. Fuller's locked in. Oh, and Brian Tricky is going to get called for defensive pass interference there. I do wonder if she didn't give that last push at the end, she might have got away with it.
Yeah, I think he was
pretty
hesitating to throw it, and then he did.
Yeah. You can only make so much contact for so long. At least while that ball's in there anyway. So Stingrays might get a bit of a free ride here, and that's the case. So first down Stingrays, compliments of Tricky. You know what's interesting, mate? Just seeing all the different types of foods that come to football games after a team's done, particularly a Colts team or a men's team. I've seen a KFC box, I've seen a Macca's box. I think I saw some Guzman and Gomez as that pass is completed to Brewer for a short gain. Anderson on the tackle. Release there. The Ravens playing a bit of a shell defense here, and once they're also trying to keep all the passes in front of them today.
Yeah, definitely.
Second down and 9. Another inside give to Jensen. Jensen, who's been running well, keeps her legs pumping, but is stopped just short of the first down. They'll put him in a much more manageable third down situation though. Brings them to a 3rd and short, in fact, and with the way they've been running the football, they've pretty much got their entire playbook open to them now. Third down now for the Stingrays. What are you back in here, mate?
Oh,
middle or
I'm
pass?
tipping she's going to follow her O-line straight over, I reckon, maybe.
They do an extend out to the outside. Jensen's got the first down. Flags were thrown early though. She's still running, Jensen taken down around the 10-yard line on a fantastic run. Let's see if it was all for naught.
A couple of flags on the play.
Evans is disappointed to see those flags thrown. Sort of half on again. How improved Jensen looks to me compared to where I saw her around the first 3 weeks of the year. Great job from the Stingrays coaching staff.
10 times, I'm like, I'm tired. And then
Alright, looks like it was offside on the defense here, so naturally the Stingrays will decline that. Will take the result of the play, which takes them inside the red zone. And ball on the 10. Nose of the football. Right on the 10-yard line. You can see, look at all that experience on that O-line. Nerang, Kane, and Mama Napier right there at right guard. And there it is. Another team have used a timeout, I've also just realised that.
Yeah.
First half has just zoomed past.
It has gone very quick.
2-minute warning.
Bit of a running game.
Yeah, right, jeez. Might have a bit of extra time before your game, mate.
Yeah, maybe.
And a high snap. Evans tall enough for it. She's flushed out to the right. The left-handed pass is a good one and hits Hodgson. Oh, how about the talent on Evans to get her body contorted to throw that pass. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's definitely not hard. Not easy for a left-handed QB to roll out to the right and pass right.
That's the second time she's done that today. I thought she might have pulled a bit of a Patty Mahomes on us, switched the ball to her offhand, in this case to her right, and throw that ball, but no. Well done. That just takes so much body movement there to try and get that body across.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Impressive stuff there by the All-Australian quarterback. Nice catch, of course, in the corner by Hodgson. Kelsey Jensen up the middle. She's good. 2 for 2 on 2-point conversions today for the Stingrays. We are seeing two offenses fully loaded today. Great job. Happy the blocking scheme there from the offensive line. A bit of a trap block almost underneath. And we're inside the 2-minute warning now. So let's see if the Ravens can use all 1 minute 52 to get on the board. If I was a betting man, and I am, Moran will have a huge part of the upcoming drive.
Very good job.
I'll tell you something that the Stingrays are probably benefiting from this year. They've got one of the most, filled in or stacked coaching staffs there. Kevin Sweeney, a defensive coordinator, Craig Baker at OC, a couple of injured veterans as well who are helping out around the park. Christine Schultz, she's really been put in a position to succeed her as head coach, and she's taken it with both hands and is doing a great job this year.
Yeah, she's definitely done a great job with the team.
On the flip side, Gerard Fitzpatrick on his lonesome over on the Ravens, but he proved last year he could do it. He's doing it again, leading his team to the #1 spot at this point of the season.
Yeah, they're definitely two well-drilled teams.
Cody Fuller will try to match Hayes' efforts. Swaysland drops it on the first attempt, eventually dives on it. So the Ravens, they'll now only have to travel 41 yards. What do you make of that, mate? With inside the 2-minute warning, do you think they should have possibly tried to push it deep?
Yeah, I'm more of a tactical man, rugby league man sort of thing. I would have tried to drive that thing all the way down to the 1 yard line and try and get the stop down deep in their half.
Mate, if you're a rugby league man, the Ipswich Jets might have something to say about that. Of course, with their famous shenanigans with short kicks, short dropouts. Torres, patiently, now she'll choose to run it. She's got blockers in front of her. She's looking for the sideline, won't get there though. West has got her by the bootlaces. I think that might be Juanita Hall over the top. And that looked like a situation where it was one read, if not take off. At least you want to try and hit Moran, but the Stingrays all over that.
Yep.
Ravens have not opted to use the timeout. The clock is still running. 16-14. With just a couple of ticks over 2 to go. Torres with a speed option to Moran, who gets it on the third bobble. She'll straighten up now and take it forward, and she'll pick up about 5 or 6. And the Ravens now will use their first time out of the game. I got to say, compared to our usual games, the Stingrays have actually done a really good job on Christy Moran.
Yeah, they've definitely started to shut her down. All flowing to her as soon as she gets the ball.
And Moran, whilst looking great in the moments she's played, has had a bit of a stop-start season, I guess. Not on form, but mainly availability. The body hasn't always been good to her this year, so she's been extra cautious about resting it. And I think Gerard Fitzpatrick also has had a lot of influence in that, making sure that he wanted to control her reps, not forcing her to play if she didn't have to. So let's see if some of that rest will pay off here in the back end.
Yeah, I think it definitely will. She's coming in fit towards the end of the season, right towards the playoff time. So I think you'll see her a lot in the playoffs at 100%.
Yeah. Of course, she's the bell cow today. Castro Trias Mona still unavailable as well. Maddie Seto Payne's also here though, proven to be a capable running back as well. Let's see if she takes more runs in the second half of the season. Torres out to the right side, as under pressure there, and is taken down by her state teammate Ella Briscoe. She's done that to a good couple of quarterbacks. Well, the Ravens look like they're trying to build some sort of high-low read every time they're doing these rollout passes, but the Stingrays defense downfield obviously doing their job. Torres can't seem to find anyone.
Yeah, that's it. They're marking up very well. There's no one really free, as you can see in the backfield there.
Well, the Ravens, they look like, well, I was about to say, no, the Stingrays now with 4th and 11. They want some time to try and do something here. I'm surprised they didn't call a bit earlier. So they'll call a timeout here with just over 21 seconds on the clock. They'll hopefully, I think they're assuming the Ravens will punt this here. The Ravens now have a bit of a decision to make. Do they want to give the Stingrays time for maybe 2, maybe 3 plays here after the end of this play? And I think they haven't given up anything too deep for the Ravens, so I think if they wanted to go for it,
yeah, definitely,
it might be worth a shot.
Yeah, I think you'd go for it here.
Yards, my count ran.
At the very least, you're going to make Stingrays burn another timeout.
Exactly right, yeah. And then you can sort of, it's easy to defend some of those deeper plays when you know they're coming, so. 4th down and 11. Torres is still out, so they will be going for it. Moran's partnered in the backfield with her, trips out to the right. And they'll run the speed option again. Will she pitch it at the next level? Torres will keep it. And she'll be stopped after only a couple yards. There'll be a turnover on downs. And Briscoe's running it for a timeout. I don't think she realises the clock automatically stops on a changeover. So now armed with 2 timeouts, the Stingrays, they have 44 yards to cover in 15.5 seconds. What's the plan here for you, mate? Are you keeping everyone deep, or are you blitzing everyone? There's almost 2 tools of thought in there.
Yeah, I'd say you'd have to go for the deep coverage. They'd definitely go for the long pass here, you'd think.
Hodgson, the likely suspect, but with Lolo Vafusuwaga is covering her. She'll have to get some work done. No, Brewer is covered by her old teammate. We'll talk more about some of that action in the second half with all these former Jets taking part in this current game. But Sharman on the coverage there on the incomplete pass to Brewer. Ravens, they send a blitz, and Lauren will keep it herself. Evans with a good stiff arm. This will get her close to the first down, and she'll push the ball forward to get that first down. And she gets out of bounds, saving them a timeout with 5 seconds remaining on the clock. Time for a heave to the end zone, you reckon, mate?
Yeah, I think so. That's all they've got.
If you're a D lineman with your hand in the dirt, this is your opportunity to get on the stat sheet.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, Evans actually looking like she's a little deeper in the pocket as well. Is she setting up for a long pass? She's going to roll out to her right, try to buy some time. We'll dump it short though to Brewer. Brewer has a lot of work to do, and I think time has expired on that play. No. They're claiming the Stingrays got a timeout just before time ran out, so I'm just going to see if that's confirmed. Nope, they're handing the ball to Tim Redshaw, who'll say time expired during the duration of that play. So at halftime, we have the home side Stingrays leading the Ravens by the very small margin of 2 points. 16 points plays 14 here in week 11. Football back in action here in Gridiron, Queensland. I'm Kenny Andres. I've been fortunately joined here from Pete Mariani, who might be leaving me at halftime. He's got a game to prepare
I'll have
for.
to love and leave you to go get ready.
Stick with us. We'll be back for the second half very shortly. For the second half of this week 11 matchup in the women's division here in Gridiron, Queensland. The Stingrays, they lead by a successful 2-point conversion. Both teams good for 2 touchdowns in the first half.
You're getting no change.
Ravens deferred their option on the coin toss in the first half, so they're receiving the ball here in the second, trailing by 2. Big thanks to Pete Mariani for joining me in commentary in the first half. Back on the lonesome here for the second. Cody Fuller will send this short, just behind Ruth. Malulu Vafu Suwaga will be picked up by Keeper, who pitches it off. Trying a bit of trickery, the Ravens. Keeper might want to put that one back in the playbook in the maybe not used for a while section. Fortunately, scooped up there from B. Clement. And the Ravens will stay on offense with the ball on the 31-yard line. So, Keeper Anderson trying to get that ball to Grace Power on the kick return. And Grace might be expecting a handoff rather than a little pitch. First down and 10 for the Ravens. A shift for the Ravens is an interesting one. They're going to get flagged for it. It's a strong run to open the second half, but flags will probably take away from that. Coming off the field now is Katie Kettle, who is one of 3 Stingrays with their birthday today. 3 on the same day, eh? Hip hip Stingray. Big happy birthday to Natasha Jacobs, Katie Kettle, and Kathleen Clifford. Hoping to pick up a W as a birthday present here today. Ravens with Torres. She'll pitch to Moran. Moran with some work to do. Has got Hayes out front blocking for her. Moran's found the sideline and she's in stride now. Cuts it back inside Hodgson and picks up a huge gain on the ground there, taking it inside the 30. Good outside blocking there by the Ravens. Gets Moran to the edge. She doesn't need a whole lot. Eventually taken there by Hodgson and Danielle Pardo. As the Ravens, with that strike, move into Stingray territory. Two in the backfield now with Rosie Shelton and a tight end. They'll move power and motion and give to Moran inside again. Only for a couple yards. And go to the outside. Now trying to get Moran to work the inside. Taken down underneath by Juanita Hall.
You gotta get the sausage, right? Oh, it's like swap. Almost like
Second and 7 upcoming here for the Ravens. Big thanks to Impact Sports and GQ TV, live stream sponsor for this week. Second down and 7. 16-14 in favour of the Stingrays. Ravens on the attack. Moran forced to make people miss immediately and is stopped just a couple yards beyond the line of scrimmage. Stingray certainly not stopping Moran, but doing a good job limiting the damage. Third and the long now. Looking third at 6 ahead for Torres and the Ravens. Stingrays showing 3 with pressure. In motion now is Sam Lingman. Lingman now the near side wide receiver. And have they pulled them, probably got enough side penalty off that. An encroachment, I should say. Another defensive lineman jumping very, very early. Let's see what Tim Richo has to say about it. Yep, as predicted. Encroachment on the defense. Third and short. They'll trust Moran. No, bit of trickery now. Hayes on the reverse. She'll get the outside, has got the first down, and that's all she'll need. Ravens keep this drive alive. With a few trick plays, Coach Fitzpatrick not unfamiliar to the world of trickery to get some offense generated. "14 yards out. Moran with the pitch, has got nothing but Stingrays in front of her though. She'll pick up maybe 2.5, 3 yards.
Oh, nice one, Sol.
Just after that huge run ripped off by Moran, the Ravens have just been meticulously and methodically inching closer to the end zone. Another scores around the ground. Over in Logan, the Brisbane Rhinos lead the Thunder 19 points to 7. There's a timeout here by the Ravens taken. And we'll take a short timeout ourselves. Well, the Ravens in the red zone, looking to take the lead back from the Stingrays, 16 points to 14. 4:22 remaining in the third quarter. Another pass here from Torres. Torres as Hayes coming back for it in a valiant effort, but can't quite bring it in. That'll bring up third down. 3rd and 7 now. Ravens able to pick up a first down instead of a touchdown if necessary. Third down and 7. Trips to the right. Lingman, inside wide receiver. Torres fakes the pitch. Will try to get to the pylon herself, but it's taken down there by Briscoe. Ella Briscoe ragdolling Torres to the ground. And Torres certainly will be getting a lot of that. Big congratulations to her being called up to the Seattle LFL side over in the States, the Majestics, alongside current combatant Cody Fuller, who also will be traveling there. The pair of them will be heading there late January next year. So they'll be able to test their football medal over in the LFL in the States. Power in motion. We'll turn into a lead block from Moran. Moran is taken down by West and Juanita Hall. And that was on 4th down, a huge red zone defensive stand for the Stingrays. That keeps the lead in Columbia Blue. 16 points to 14. The score remains here late in the third quarter. A reminder for those with youngins around, the junior program being run by quite a few clubs in Gridiron, Queensland, and that includes the youth as well, I should include. But if you are in the Gold Coast region, why don't you come down and join this historic club? They do a good job putting on home games. So first down inside their own 10 The Stingrays trying to add the first consecutive score of the day. And there's a new running back into the game on that one, I think. That time, powering the ball forward was Anastasia Awani. Just lowers the shoulder and takes it forward for a good gain of about 3 yards. 2nd and 7. Oh, 2nd and 6, the official count is. 2:30 remaining in the third quarter. And Jensen patiently waiting for blocks on the outside and releasing from her block, but not successfully making the tackle there. Was one of the Ravens defenders, I think it was Brian Tricky. What a run there from Jensen, and a fantastic display of patience. He doesn't pull the trigger on the gas too quickly and pretty much rides the good blocking all the way for a first down. First and 10 Stingrays. Out of danger, started their drive. Two players to go on their own 9. And a play action pass. Looking for Hodgson. Hodgson's got the slant and is taken down there by Todd. Todd playing safety, a usual corner played representative football at cornerback, now playing safety for the Ravens, it appears. First and 10. And another end around this time to Jensen. Ravens will wake to it, they shut it down. And ran that play to Mika Dagi for a huge touchdown in the first half. This time, Jessica Anderson comes down. Gruss cuts her for a loss. 2nd and 11. Two wingbacks in for the Gold Coast Stingrays. Lauren Evans assesses the defense. She's looking to pass. He's going to sling this downfield, looking for Fuller. And Fuller's well short of it. That'll be an incomplete pass. I'll bring up 3rd and 11. Fuller couldn't quite check the press of Fafu Suaga on that play. Evans checks off, goes under center now. Hand the ball off. It's fumbled there by Awani. Have the Ravens gone on it? I think Awani's managed to recover her own fumble. Dangerous times in the middle of the field there for the Gold Coast Stingrays, but they've managed to stay out of turnoverville. Would have been their first turnover for the day. Fourth and 11. And Fuller sends us high and we'll pick up about 20 plus yards on that punt. And the Ravens, they'll jump back on possession after being stopped short in the end zone last drive. Here comes Torres and her offensive unit. Lingman yet to register a catch. Let's see if that changes this drive. Same case for Michelle Greenwood. Let's see if she can pick up a catch here on this upcoming drive. A couple changes on the offensive line. Amanda Holly now in at center.
No, what?
Torres, deep drop this time. Are they setting up a screen? No, they're going over the middle to Hayes. Hayes has got it in stride. She got the first down and more. She's going downfield down the right-hand sidelines. A foot race to the end zone. She'll cut it back though. And that is a huge gain for the Bayside Ravens. Hayes once again in the first half set them up for a touchdown scoring drive with a huge reception. And does it again here in the second. When Hayes finally got going in the WAGL at the start of the year, it was through routes like that, the crossing routes over the middle and turning them into big gains. Looks like the Ravens are using that strategy again to get her going here against the Gold Coast Stingrays. 16-14, the Ravens looking to change that.
You know what I mean?
Actually, time has expired now, and they're going to take a walk over to the other end zone as we move into the fourth quarter. And we're back here to start the fourth quarter. 8 minutes left in this Week 11 matchup. The Ravens in possession, moving closer to another 6-pointer. That pass incomplete, intended to Michelle Greenwood over the middle. She was open. Torres couldn't quite get the pass there though. You can see Greenwood benefiting there from the double coverage to Hayes. Ravens might want to store that in the memory bank. Second down and 10. Ball on the 14.
I'll let you know before.
Torres, short to Power. Power puts a move on at the line, cuts it back to the middle of the field, and will be met by the rest of the Gold Coast secondary. Eventually making the tackle there is Serena Martin. Stingrays trying to get the ball away from Power there on the back end of the tackle. 3rd and 4. Ravens don't want to get stopped short again. The Stingrays defense got a lot of confidence after the last red zone stop. The Ravens need to find a way to execute here on this 3rd down conversion. They'll give it to Old Faithful and Moran. Moran, she's trucking forward, nothing fancy about this. She'll get the first down, but stop just short of a touchdown. So there it is, they managed to convert on 3rd down there. And that gives them 4 more plays to try and take the lead. One points remaining through Christy Moran. Moran cutting it back on the toss play, the same play several times in a row. And the one celebration Moran uses when she's really excited, the single-handed fist bump. Not a bad time to pull one out now. Ravens 20 points to 16. Looking to make this a 6-point margin with 17 seconds remaining, giving themselves a chance to draw should the crazy finish of the Stingrays getting into the end zone with 17 seconds remaining happen. Grace Power in motion. Moran in the wild bird formation. She'll use the stiff arm to get her across the line. Add another 2 points to the scoreboard. The Ravens now lead flags on the ground. Should this stand, they will take a 22 to 16 point lead over the Gold Coast Stingrays. It looks like it's going to be holding on the Ravens. A false start on the Ravens. So that'll move them back 5 yards and negate the 2 points. We'll have to do it again. Fourth down. Oh, sorry, I say 2 point conversion.
This guy's balling. He's giving me like 10 out of 10.
They've gone to 2 in the backfield now. This is the wild bird formation again with Moran. They'll use the exact same play. Moran's already in trouble. She bounces it. Cutting back now and is taken down hard by Awani. She's been making hits all day. The Stingrays looking deflated as they come back to their sideline. They deny the 2 point conversion here, so should they be able to pull some magic off here with 17 seconds remaining, it will give them the lead. Can they get into the end zone one more time? Speaking about one more time, a fun fact. Britney Spears hit me baby one more time. Turned 20 this year. Just a little bit of fun, just a little fun fact to break the tension here in the dying seconds of this Week 11 matchup. Back to return is Hodgson, but the Ravens haven't kicked this ball beyond 15 yards all day. They're actually in the scary predicament now of wondering whether they should kick it deep here or just continue the status quo.
Wait, is 10 playing now?
And Hayes, she won't change the tactic despite the situation. Looks short, and I think that is Johnston who, well, it actually could be Tiafi Thurston in her traditional number 6. So I've got her as number 36 on the team list here, but I think she has moved back to her original number. This ball has been fielded by the Stingrays. All right, take one out of bounds. The Stingrays will take possession.
That's why you're not going You're not a...
After being touched by a player though, hence no flags. So with 15 and a half seconds on the clock, the Stingrays, they've got the ball on their own 36. It's not impossible. Evans didn't expect the snap, catches it anyway. She's under pressure from Hayes, throwing it long, looking for a favourite target in Hodgson, but the coverage is there by 2 Australian representative plays there. Brittany Todd coming up with the pass deflection. And that took off 6 seconds on the play. We're looking at 9.3. There's Ella Briscoe nervously pacing around, looking like a lion pacing around and watching her pray. She was one of the most frustrated when Moran broke off that huge play to get the Ravens in position to score. Second down and 10, but more importantly, the ball still on the 36-yard line. This could prove to be one of Evans' biggest throws of her career, should she come up with a big play here. Stingrays do have a timeout in the bank. If they can get a deep pass here, let's see if the receiver has the awareness to get down. Evans dancing around, buying a receiver's time, trying to get it to Brewer, and good coverage there by Ali Sharman. 3 seconds remaining. Well, get at your Bibles. It is Hail Mary time now. Will Evans just try to buy as much time as possible and test out her arm strength, or will she hit something intermediate and hope her receivers can do the rest? Ravens, they send two. It's a short pass to Jensen, and they're going to mark it as a backward pass here. No, an incomplete pass here. That means we should still have some time on the clock by my count. But I'm not the official timekeeper. And probably a disappointing end there for the last play of the game. But for the Ravens, they come into Nerang and head back down the M1 with a 4-point victory, 20 points to 16 over the Gold Coast Stingrays in one of the best women's matches we've seen here in 2018. What a great game. Notable performances there on the winning side by Marissa Hayes, Torres, and of course Moran defensively. Ellie Sharman was flying around. For the Stingrays, who definitely had a strong hold on the game for a little while, as I see myself on camera now, Ella Briscoe was huge, and of course Jensen did some great things on the ground. Evans putting another consistent performance out. Coming up just short on this particular situation here. I'm sure we will see another potential clash between these two teams, either in the playoffs or the Sun Bowl. It's been a fantastic game. Thank you for joining us here, and big thanks to Pete Mariani for joining me in the first half there. We've still got more GQ action at 6:30, kicking off alongside John Hollywood Rowe. We have got the Gold Coast Stingrays defending home turf against the visiting Moreton Bay Raptors. Tune in at 6:30 for that. I'm Kenny Andres. See you soon.